What do you think we can do to get younger kids back into this thing?
I love that question because we have peripheral vision. It kind of means we see everything that's going on, and I'm a huge baseball Cardinal fan, and I pay attention to baseball. They say that's the biggest problem right now in baseball is that kids are not playing baseball the way they used to. So my answer to you would be this. There's a big societal shift. Now, it's true I'm a redneck dirt racer, right? Holes in my jeans, but it doesn't mean I'm dumb. The word societal means all of society. There's this huge shift going on in the world. Kids, as they're born now, they get addicted like we all do. We get addicted to digital, the phone, the games. And we don't get out, we don't ride bikes, we don't climb trees, we don't run the creeks. And that's what I did.
Right.
And I'm sure you did too. I built a tree house right down the road here. I love the creeks because I might find a minnow in a little pond, had my BB gun. I mean, I was outside my whole life. I mean, I did not like the inside of my house because it was nothing going on. Now these kids, Sean, are living inside their homes. And to me, that's the biggest problem. It's that societal shift. Society has changed. Racing has done nothing wrong. I mean, as I told you before, the crate motor, the 602, the 604, it saved racing. We got the B mods now because of that. Whether you like the crate motor or not, that was a good move. We got way more race cars than we ever had. We were down to 14 A mods, and then that 602 crate motor came. And now we got 30 B mods every week.
Yeah.
We are in a huge societal shift. And I don't know what we can do. I'm hoping that there comes a seismic shift in life. I believe Elon Musk is really good for Twitter, but Twitter's nowhere near as big as Facebook. And I believe that we need to, I don't know if there's no turning back. But somehow, we have time for our grandkids. Okay, you're done. But we do have them. We do, kid starts whining, you hand them the laptop. It's like a pacifier.
Yep.
So people like you are saving the sport. People like Josh Carroll at Brownstown, the Schraders, the Gundakers. We've already lost too many racetracks. We've lost Godfrey. We lost St. Charles. We lost Lake Hill Speedway, and I'm sure there's more out there.
Yeah, Belle, I was telling Kurt on the way here. You probably don't remember it, but it was a big deal for me. Last time I raced at Belle was with you and Harrison. And Harrison was leading. You were second.
Oh, I remember.
Do you?
Yes.
And me and you kind of juked around a little bit.
You outrun me.
And I might as well won the thing because I finished second to Mike and got around you. And boy, that was the coolest thing ever.
I remember that night because I've had conversations with you, and I said the reason I make videos of me always doing everything by myself is because there's a misconception about me. There's an age gap. People saw me in NASCAR, saw me on TV, and they didn't know that I'm a St. Louis guy.
Yeah.
They didn't know that I fabricated cars. So that night when you outrun me, I took it as there was a whole bunch of people. Hey, Wallace, we kicked your ass. And I'm like, nobody around home likes me. And I thought it was a great race. And, the track was super rough. And I got by you, you got back by me, and they threw the checker flag and you kicked my ass. But there were so many people that night that were so angry towards me. And so I tried to educate people on who I really am. And that's one reason I do so many videos of me by myself.
Yeah.
I want to fit in. And that night, when you outrun me, and for a while, all three of us were battling for the lead. And, you're just not going to outrun Mike on a rough track. But that was a great night. And I remember that like yesterday. And that's why I can't believe that you decided to run a racetrack, because you're such a great race car driver.
It's fun, that's for sure. I don't know if I was, any good, but
you were good.
It was fun.
And you are
It is
good.
fun. I still got a car, so I'm gonna get
you are
back
good.
to it. But yeah, Belle really. I don't know. I hope somebody can save that place. Like that. Honestly, is what made me get involved, because when I saw what happened to them, I just kind of was like, I can't let that happen to my track. Like, I wish I could do both, honestly, but that Belle Claire's about an hour from me, so that ain't gonna happen.
Well, but inevitably, if we don't say, going back to your other question, or probably the same question, if we don't save the racetracks, there's no chance for kids to race.
Right.
So we have. Belle Claire still has a heartbeat.
Yes.
Has a heartbeat.
Yep.
And if, I read the article, the man that bought the racetrack said we are entertaining racing. Yep. But they got to make it easy. They can't want all the money because, as you know, there's so much labor intensified.
Yeah.
You can't work your ass off at Highland and then give all the money to the fair board.
Yeah.
They got to give you a break.
Yeah. Yeah. We got a good agreement with our fair. I know that people get a stigma about our fair, and our fair helps us out more than anything.
Great.
So we got a great group right now going forward. So.
And I think Highland, my dad told me, I believe, before my father passed away, my dad, Russ Wallace, raced everywhere. And, started in Allied. And I think Dad ran Highland back in the early 1800s.
Yeah.
How old is Highland?
Oh, shoot. 1962, I think, is when they first started racing.
Well, that's not real old.
60, going on 70 years, I guess.
Yeah.
62nd year. Oh.
Well, I was born in 1963, so.
Yeah. Yeah, my dad said he popped bottle caps in the basement when he grew up there. So he was serving soda when he was a kid. So he didn't race, but he was there. When it was growing.
And I sold programs at Tri-City Speedway.
Oh, man.
Programs? Get your programs here. See all your stars and cars, a quarter.
I was going to say.
And I'd go up those damn bleachers, about bust my butt. Yes.
Minimum wage for about.
Hey, as long as I made $1,
yeah.
So I could go get a soda. I didn't care what I made.
Let's change gears here a little bit. What do you think? Who do you think the top 3 dirt racers are right now? Just broad question. Top 3.
That's a good question. I would say in the super late models, it's definitely Jonathan Davenport. I don't like the debate, about McCready. I'm like, look, I mean, the man, Jonathan Davenport, is the man right now. Yeah. And that's just all there is to it. So anybody that says anything different, they're just wanting to create controversy. Mm-hmm. I think it's Davenport. I think it's McCready second. I think Bobby Pierce is the most raw talent because, the kid's like a little pie. He's built. His sister got into working out. Bobby's into working out. And Bobby's got enough nerve to where if he's got to throw a dirty slider on you like he did at Belle. See, the thing with Bobby Pierce is that's what they do for a living. Mm-hmm. And when you do something for a living, you don't care about friends.
Right.
So I've never seen Bobby like wreck people, although his right rear quarter panel could be in your left front tire. But it's because this pays $1,500 and it pays $5,000 to win. We'll fight after the race, but I really need that money. Yep. And I know that because when my brother Rusty Wallace raced, I mean, we were jumping the starts. They hated Rusty because he jumped starts, but he's like, hey, I need the money. So, I mean, listen, we can argue on it, but I'm just going to go right there. I'm going to go Davenport, McCready, and Pierce. And listen, we got Overton, but I don't see Overton on the bull rings.
Right.
Pierce runs good on the bull rings and then goes and wins the World 100. Yes. That's how I do that.
Yep, for sure. Yeah, I was thinking about that with Overton, actually. You only see him do good, on the big, wide open
Southern guys.
Tracks. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'll defend that for them. They grew up in the South. All the tracks down there are hard red clay, big tracks. We're just bull ring city around here. They come and see our racetracks and they're like, what in the world?
Yep, right up Illinois. All the little...
Yeah, we're like, we live on a 620, 650 gear and a 720, and they're like, we don't even have those gears in our gear chart.
Yeah, they'd be really lost at the Dome. Holy cow.
Yeah. Well, when they come to the Dome, it's kind of funny because, Davenport comes, turns his nose off, and just pulls off the track. He's like, I'm out.
There. Yep, he was there. That's all it is. So the Dome, what do you think of the Dome? It's a good thing, I'm sure you're going to say, but what do you think they can do better to make it a bigger
Well,
a better event. Let's say better.
You know, this is this thing I do on the Kenny Wallace YouTube show. I say my disclaimer. So let me tell you what I know about the Dome. It's going to destroy your race car. It should not be done. They're going to take the Dome away. It's downtown St. Louis. It's dangerous. You're going to drive there. They're going to smash your window out of your car, and they're going to steal everything out of it. So I just told you everything bad.
Yeah.
You're going to destroy your race car. You're on the north side of St. Louis. They're going to steal everything out of your car. So we're going to destroy our race car, destroy your passenger car. It's all bad. But here's the problem. It's awesome.
It is awesome.
It's awesome. And the people are still in line to want to be there. You know, listen, there's an old wrestling thing. To be the man, you have to beat the man. And the great Mike Harrison has given me a lot of things to live by. And I'm going to share one of the things that he told me that I liked. I was getting roughed up. Hey, Wallace, come to New York. Let's see what you got with that old mod. Hey, Wallace, come to Fairbury. You ain't nothing down there. And I'm thinking these guys never come race with us, but they want me to do all the traveling. And I was telling Mike Harrison, you know, I said, Mike, I'm getting roughed up. Everybody's wanting me. Mike Harrison looked me right in the face and he said, Herman, race where you want to race and don't race where you don't want to race. And I said, oh my God, what a great concept.
Yeah.
So here's the bottom line with the Dome. If you don't want to run the Dome, don't run the Dome. However, they're in line to want to run the Dome.
Yeah.
Everybody is. So I called the Ham. I was not going to run my car at the Dome because I didn't want to tear it up. I tore all my stuff up at the Dome. So I called Larry Hamilton up, and they had an old 2014 Impressive. And I called my sponsors, and I got a little money. And I said, Larry, I'll give you my motor. I'll supply all the tires. And we put a little agreement together, not a contract, an agreement. And we took an old 2014 Impressive. And that's the way you go to the Dome.
Yeah.
If you want to go to the Dome. But don't diss the Dome because you don't want to go to the Dome. Because the Dome is not meant for everybody. However, everybody that does not want to race the Dome, they go to the Dome and they drink beer. So I'm not that type of guy that goes, I hate Highland. It's too little. I'm like, you know, everybody, Billy Moore, they all love Highland.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm no good at Highland, but I don't talk trash about Highland. So I'm going to go to Highland and I'm going to win so I can mark it off. And there's a trophy up there from the Dome. It was one of the biggest wins of my dirt career. I won the Dome in front of all my high school buddies.
Oh, man.
So, I mean, that's my Dome.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, the Dome, I've never had a feeling like it. I mean, even just watching it, they shut all the lights off, do all that stuff, the Star Spangled Banner. I mean, just gives me shivers just thinking about it, just how cool that whole event is. And yeah, I wish we could, I hope we can get to the point where we have some kind of event like that.
It is
on another level.
I would add, I agree with you 100%. I would add, and I use this, it's theatrical,
Yes.
right? So when I won the B main, there was people all over the United States. Congratulations on the big A main win. I'm like, no, let them go. I have people to this day that still think I won the A main at the Dome because I was the first one to go to the high side.
Yeah. And
I biked up and and last lap, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it.
Oh, man.
So I had to do a whole little video about, hey, Wallace, you thought the B main was... I'm like, no, I didn't think anything about the B main. The fans loved it.
Yeah.
Leave me out of that. So
I loved it. I was watching my garage stuff. Oh, let's see. Where else can we go here? What do you think we can do better at Highland, just in general? I mean, you're talking a lot of good stuff on us, but what's something we can do better off that?
Well, let me just say this. I've seen a big change at Highland since you started owning it. you're really getting up to date with all your marketing and your advertising. You're showing up really good on all social media. You're young enough that you understand we're not going to put social media back in the bottle. It's here. You know, our world leaders, the Pope, is on social media. It's not going anywhere. And I think it's really, you know, cool what your team has put together. And I like that you've embraced that it's a hardcore bull ring. You know, it is what it is. And I would say to you, so if you said to me, what could you do to make Highland better? Man, you know, I mean, I really feel like you're doing it right now. You know what I mean?
I'll wait till after this weekend.
I never liked Highland. I'm going to be honest with you. And I'm going to tell you why I never liked Highland.
Yeah.
Because I went there at the wrong time in my career. I was a NASCAR race car driver, and I went there, and I won the B main, and the guy running second was all over me. When the B main was over, I was in the A main, and he was out, and he hated me. I mean, hated me, MF'd me, and people just hated me. And my wife just accidentally went with me to that dirt race because Kim doesn't go. And she said, don't you ever go back to that Highland Speedway. Those fans are mean, you know. And I understood her, but I kept going back, you know, once or twice a year for the Summer Nationals. But I'm going to be honest, now that you own it, I like it because you created a better atmosphere. You know, it's not cool to stab somebody. No. It's not cool. And, you know, we can fight, but to try to kill somebody, that's not cool.
Yep. And fans, we're talking to you here. If you're that person, stop being that person.
You know, listen, we don't make a living running these cars. Okay, we don't. And I'm always dead honest with everybody. It's not the NASCAR money that runs that car. Every sticker on that car, I call people up. Hey, this is Kenny Wallace. Yeah, I tell them what I'll do for them, and they're okay, Herm. You know, now I'm 60 years old. I've got a big advantage on young kids because I've done all this. I get that. But just because somebody spins you out doesn't mean you take a knife and stab them and kill the person and then end up in jail. That is so stupid that it makes me want to throw up inside my mouth. It's dirt racing. Men are gladiators. I'm the greatest of all time. When in reality, no man is the greatest. You're the greatest if you can support your family at home, take care of your family. This, going to Highland, you got two choices. You can go to Lake of the Ozarks with your boat, or you go to Highland. It's all entertainment. Yep. It's all, but there's an old saying, be careful, young man. Competition will kill you. And there's nights you're going to run eighth. You know, there's nights you're going to have a flat tire. Just pull off the track. You know, I mean, it's taken me a long time to get there. But Highland is a small track, and it induces fights. You get underneath a guy, and he starts chopping you down. You run into the euchre tire, your night's out. Yeah. And I think that's why Harrison wins so much, because he just goes to the outside.
Yep. Yep, that definitely cures a lot when you're not driving into the guy in front of you's left rear. Like,
yeah. So I mean, I went ahead and told you as you see, Schrader does that. That means you hit a nerve with me, and the reason I'm coming back to Highland is because you own it, wow. and I see everything you're doing. You create it. Listen, I'll fight. I don't mind fighting, but don't kill me, okay? You know, don't stab me.
Well, disclaimer: I don't own it. I'm just the president. I have no ownership.
You run it.
I run it. I'll admit that.
You don't own it, but boy, you sure do run it.
Yeah, you hit on something there. The sponsors on the car help you pay for the car, like it's not the NASCAR money. I think that's something a lot of the younger, maybe the older guys too, but should realize, like, you hustle to get these sponsors on the car, and then you present, like, you probably do a better job than anybody I know presenting these sponsors over and over and over again to get their money's worth, where a lot of guys, they slap a sticker on the car and then thanks for your money, and you don't hear from them again. That's something I learned. I mean, my dad taught me that when I was a kid, to go ask for money, and then you got to give them back what they gave you by supporting their business, or, you know, just giving them their advertisement money. And you do a great job. I mean, you jegs on the car for years, and all I heard was jegs and jegs and jegs. Yeah. But I think that's some of the younger generation, they don't realize, like, that's how you can pay for these cars. Like,
so I'm going to tell you why I became that person, because I grew up poor.
Right.
1 mile from here. Okay, I'd go behind people's houses and I'd steal their soda bottles. Right up to the 7-Eleven, cash them in. Then I got to the point where I needed more soda bottles, so I took black tape out of the shop and taped more soda bottles. I would tape soda bottles all over my bicycle. Didn't carry a 6-pack. Get to the 7-Eleven, get the money, and then go to A&W and eat. Because I could never ask my dad for $1. Dad, could I have $1? What do you need $1? Jesus. I'll never ask my dad for another $1 because he screamed and hollered at me. I learned at an early age that if you want to do something, nobody around me was going to give me any money. And I always used a redneck term, and then I put LOL, ha, but it's true. I grew up in Jefferson County, the home of crystal meth. You don't want to grow up around here. This is hardcore. This is doggy dog. If somebody lends you $1 on Monday and you don't pay it back on Friday, we're fighting. So I had to learn to get my money because my dad wouldn't give me no money. And all these sponsors are an environment of, I want to race. I'm going to find the money, call up Pro Shocks. I traveled with my brother Rusty everywhere. I watched Rusty beg, borrow, and steal. We would go up to John Childs in O'Fallon and say, could we have the tire weights from you balancing your tires? We'd take them. We'd go up to Jones and Lockhart on Page, and it's my job to melt that lead down because we couldn't afford lead. We did whatever the hell it took. And, you know, on social media, I see that fun that they have with me, the infield tractor tire. Hi, I'm Kenny Wallace, and we're not done yet for $22.95. But that is me.
Yeah.
But if you want to race, don't go, well, I can't race. I ain't got no money. Listen, you can run a 4-cylinder. You can run a B-Mod, a Sportsman. There's a division for you. Now, if you're shy, it's still okay. But you got to talk.
Yeah. You
don't got to be like me. I'm crazy. And I know I'm crazy. Yeah. But, you know, you gotta play the game. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm going to end it with this. When I was a kid growing up, I watched Beretta and Telly Savalas. It was, I forgot the name, Kojak. And it started out like this. You know, he was an investigator. And he would say, if you're going to play, you're going to pay. So if you're going to play, you got to pay. But I'm going to play, but I'm going to find the money because I want to be part of it. And so if you want to do this bad enough, and a lot of people are lazy and they're mad at you because you found the money, so now they start talking bad about you. Yeah. I hate him because he's racing. Sorry.
Yeah. I think of parents, I mean, getting them into racing, I mean, a lot of parents are kind of weird about it, but this stuff has taught me to work hard and go earn it. Like as a kid, I raced a go-kart, and I mean, my dad bought me the original one, but it's like, well, shoot, I want to go faster. I need a set of tires. Dad ain't going to buy those. All right, I need to go rake some leaves, cut some grass, and just obviously it got more expensive, but it's like it taught me to go get what I want. And I mean, that's what racing can teach kids on top of all the math, and the math skills alone on race cars teach you how to read a tape measure. It's amazing how some people just don't know how to read a tape measure.
3 1/4 and a 16th over a quarter, 5/16.
I can measure fractions since I was 12 years old, measuring go-kart tires. Like it's amazing the stuff kids will learn just touching these things and being around them. And I don't think everybody realizes what these things will teach you. I mean, maybe not just big cars, but just racing in general. Just
Sean, I put a post out when I went to lunch before you came here. I wanted to do this because I just see some stuff going on, and I put a picture of Kim and myself when we were boyfriend girlfriend, and I said I worked at Arnold Reuter here in Arnold, Missouri, and we would take lids off, and there'd be poop and urine, and we'd clean it out. It was just horrible. And then we did work underground for, at the time, Southwestern Belle. And I made not 200 a week, maybe 175, but I made 200 a week. And I got that check, and I went to Colonial Bank up here off Manchester, and I deposited it, and I said, give me $50 back. And I was so proud because I was going to take my girlfriend out to Ponderosa. And I see so many people nowadays, they don't grasp that concept. Go to work, do what you can do with that $175, $200. Put my hand on a Bible. That's what I did. Yeah. You know, and I would find old batteries, load them up in my truck, go down off Hall Street, and get money from old batteries. So, you know, I want to say this too. When somebody races and their dad has money and, you know, people jump on him. Oh, that kid, he's got Diddy's money. I'm like, and they trash him. I don't do that because it's not my deal, man. You know, maybe the kid's good. Maybe he got good grades. Maybe the dad said, you make all A's in school, we'll buy you a race car. Maybe the dad said, you go to college, I'll buy you a race car. But don't ever trash a kid because the dad loves them. And you don't count their money either because you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. You know, my dad said, you know what my dad, Russ Wallace, said? He said, Herman, you go to college up here at Kirkwood and you graduate, I'll buy you a car. I went 3 nights and I walked right out. I said, I don't want a new car because I can't stand this. Yeah. So, you know what I mean? Just don't trash on everybody because of what they got, because you don't know their story.
Yeah. Yeah, and fans, again, we're talking to you. Don't try to run your mouth in a good way rather than in a bad way.
You don't know anybody's story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I guarantee the guy on the track, whatever he's doing wrong, is having more fun than the guy in the stands every night of the week too.
You know, people say to me all the time, my kid just got done. My kid's 12 years old. He won 14 championships. And I'm like, get in line. Wow. Because I came along, you were probably just a baby, but I watched Tiger Woods on the Johnny Carson show. He was that tall. I watched Jeff Gordon winning full-blown sprint car races at 13. Kids are molded at 5 years old now. We're watching them run these little go-kart races, and all you just see is their head. You don't even see their body. So that's a new phenomenon. When I came along, you know, you started racing at 14, 16 years old. Yep. Until then, you let your kid grow up. And now, you know, they're molding these kids at such an early age, and like, you know, let the kid grow up a little bit. I mean, that's the only thing I got to say about that. You know, sometimes the parents want it more than the kids.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do my best not to be that guy because I got a 15-month-old.
But it's okay. Oof. If he's a good kid, it's okay.
Yep. We might do some yard cart racing, and Dad'll show him. Dad'll show him how to race first.
My buddy Billy Smith and his wife Jennifer, they're gonna watch this. I'm on him all the time. I said, Billy, be careful, because when you got one kid, you live your whole life. And I tell Billy all the time, I say, Billy, one day he's going to want to go play with his friends, and you're going to be heartbroken. So, you know, I just talked to Larry Hamilton, and I'll tell it. Larry Hamilton just called me. He said, for the first time in my life, he says, I think Ryan, he says, I got to be in Iowa on Friday. But Ryan wants to run Brownstown on Friday. And I said, I've never given a speech, but I'm getting ready. And I was at Cyberg's. I said, Larry, I said, my brother Mike went to Lake Ozark Speedway 1 week without me, and it crushed me. Thank God. I mean, I had to do something with my wife, but thank God Mike's tire fell off. See, you know, so Larry's struggling right now with Ryan running a race without him being there. It's a devastating blow to Larry, which is Ryan's dad. And I said, look, you can't go wrong either way, but there's going to be a day Ryan's got to go to that racetrack without you because you're the dad. You got to go make the money. You got to go fetch the meat. So, you know, when my brother Mike did that to me, oh my God, to this day, it still destroyed me that my brother went to the racetrack without me. Thank God his tire fell off, because if I'd have been there, that wouldn't have happened. See, you need me. But how stupid was I? But I deal with people like this all the time. I'm like, man, you know, you grow up with your child. It's your only boy. it's hard being a parent. But I tell all the parents, they will break your heart one day. Love your wife.
Yeah.
Because the kids are going to go away. It's going to be you and your wife. And Father John taught me that. Me and Kim are in an empty house now by ourselves. And I said, baby, I love you. All the kids are gone.
Yeah. All right. We're going to try and be good ambassadors of Highland. We got a few things for you here.
Love it.
Little gift box here.
We got you a Highland Speedway t-shirt.
I'm going to wear it. I love it. You know what I like about this shirt? My skin's real sensitive, and you got just a little bit of print, nothing on the back. I love shirts that don't got a lot
Well,
of print.
my dad's that same way. He always complains because there's something on the back. And
Makes you hot.
Yep.
Makes you hot.
I'm leaving you with some products from a couple of our sponsors.
Yep.
I think of Brett.
I'm sure you've had this before. If you
Brett
haven't.
Harrison.
Yep. Brett's all about that.
Mike Harrison, that bunch.
Yep.
And boy, that made you all famous.
Yep.
Yes.
So yeah, that's in Breeze, Illinois. Ski. They used to be a big sponsor. Soon to be another sponsor.
I'm good.
And Schlafly, we got Schlafly in Highland.
Yep, Schlafly beer. We got a
I've heard
Schlafly
of
in
that.
Highland. Yep.
I've heard
So
of that.
they're a
Good
new
stuff.
sponsor. Oh, Cordy Meats. So they're right there in Highland. They're a big meat processor. They got amazing hot sticks. So
Cordy, is that Randy Cordy?
You were gonna ask that.
so it's not relation, but there's like 4 different breeds of Cordys in Highland. But yes, Randy Cordy's from Highland.
Love
too, so.
this.
Yep. And then my dad's work actually, Cordy
Wow.
Construction. They big contractor in Highland.
I love the hat. I
Yep,
love the hat
so-
because it's kind of got that old school
Yep.
colors.
They're good at marketing. They do a lot of cool stuff.
That's good
but
stuff.
They started in 1958, so right around the same time Highland did. But
Yeah, I like it.
trying to be good Highland ambassadors for you. So
Well, I'll come to Highland on Saturday night wearing this shirt and this hat.
I love it.
Hope everybody loves me a little more.
No, I think the NASCAR money thing I know had a stigma there. I feel like for a little while, but man, you just promote the sport more than anybody I know. So I love you for that. And
Well, thank you, Sean. First of all, I want to say this: the NASCAR money, it grew on its own, and then I broached the subject on one of my FaceTime lives 4 years ago, and then I capitalized on it. I just went with it. Wallace got that NASCAR money. I said, "Yeah, man, I'm wealthy as all get out." You just got to go with it.
One other gift I want to give you. So all the dirt racers have been showing up in Highland at Blue Springs Cafe. I don't know if you've heard of this. Bloomquist made an appearance there.
Oh yes, I did.
Brady Bacon made an appearance.
That's how I
there.
know it, because you're posting about Bloom
So
Creek.
we've got one of the foot high pies here from Blue Springs.
Oh my
So we're
God, my wife is
Yeah.
gonna love this.
see,
Thank you.
we got to keep her happy too. So, oh God.
I'm already eating it.
Yeah. So.
That is so awesome.
Well, we appreciate you letting us come over here. This is just, I was telling Kurt on the way here, this is just beyond what I ever imagined being able to do, doing what I do there. I just thought I could, pull cars out on the track and tell them to go green and all that stuff. But, I mean, I was a big Gordon fan growing up, so if you got his phone number, that'd be cool.
Got it. I
But,
got Jeff Gordon's phone. You look like Jeff Gordon.
I never got I like that.
You look
we should
like
meet
Jeff
each
Gordon.
other for sure. But yeah, Michael Harrison, not Brett, but Michael, he was always a Rusty fan, and I was a Gordon fan, so we always,
So
got at each other.
a while back, I won a summer national race at Peoria, and the race was over, and the whole Harrison bunch came down to my holler, and I found out that Mike Harrison's wife, Lori, loves Rusty Wallace. I said, well, let's call him. She about fainted. So we called Rusty and put him on speakerphone, and to this day, I think there's that generation gap where when I left town and went south, so to speak, they loved Rusty. The Blue Deuce. And Rusty's mean. He's hardcore. And a lot of people love that, you know. But Rusty had to be tough to make it. There's nobody that I know as mentally tough as Rusty. That's why he was so good and won so much.
Yeah. Me and Michael always got on each other. And I looking back, I mean, I hated Dale Sr. until I realized how badass he was. But because him and Gordon, were rivals, and the rivalry thing is great for the sport. I think we should just create some, honestly. But the rivalries, I think, are great. Just it's funny when you look back how the rivalries are just funny because they all got along. It seemed like they just in the dramatic, news guys putting it together.
Everybody wanted everybody to be perfect, but in reality, when you go back here in the late 70s, 80s, when I left, all I heard was about my brother Mike Wallace, Bo Smith, Kevin Gundaker. You know, then came Randy Cordy and Ed Dixon. And whenever I say those names, everybody light up because everybody went to Highland, everybody went to Peevely, everybody went to St. Charles because, you know, they knew that Bo Smith, Gundaker, my brother Mike, you know, Eddie Dixon, it was going to be a show.
Yeah.
And, you know, Mike Harrison wasn't going to win every week. So back then, now my brother Mike did dominate at Granite, but later on, you know, I mean, it was Eddie Dixon and those guys. So they went to the track because they just thought Bo Smith might win that night. And I think we're missing a little bit of that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's definitely needed to have a more diverse winning group for sure. We'll see how that goes this year.
They don't have to fist fight.
No.
But it would be good if they hated each other.
But if we could, you know, have a little more competition, I guess, is the or smack talk maybe. But yeah, we'll be glad to see you this weekend. I know we got a lot of people looking forward to it. So
I'll be there. And
best of luck.
Yeah, it's on my schedule. I won't let it up yet, but I've got several attempts. I'm doing more things in life now, so I'm only going to run half my dirt schedule this year. 4 tracks, right? I put it out there: Highland, Brownstown, Granite, and Peevely.
Yep.
I could run up to Lincoln on a Wednesday night, but that's about it.
Gotcha. One last question I was thinking of before we go. What is the most fun type of racing you've ever done? Not necessarily a car, but like an event, I guess. Most fun.
Yeah, that would probably be like an IMCA stock car.
Okay.
Because these things got like 090 inch and 3/4 tubing, and they are built to, you know, you don't want to wreck each other. You want to stay your lane, but they got just the right amount of horsepower. And I go out every January and I race them out in Yuma, Arizona, Cocoa Falls Speedway. And the whole damn time you're racing, you're just smiling because they get your attention, but you're not, you know, in fear for death. I mean, these modifieds are so fast. You know, I mean, these things got 700 horsepower on a little bit. These things, you got to be on it. I put Kevin Harvick in my car at Macon.
Oh, wow.
He come in, his eyeballs were that big. He goes, I had no idea these things had this much horsepower. So I think to have fun in any type of racing, it's got to be dumbed down.
Kind of competitive, I guess. Kind of like the B mods, I guess. But
B mods are still too competitive.
Yeah.
I would say something like 4 cylinders, they can flip at any time. So I'm scared to death to drive those things. I just think a good stock car.
Okay.
A good stock car, just to, you know, they make them all day long. They got thousands of them, but I like the sportsman division at Peevely is a good one, but they're labor intensified. Yeah. A lot of labor, but I think just a good stock car division.
Yeah, we got a good street stock class. We got easily a full class every night.
Okay, same
there,
thing.
So.
Same thing. Yep. Yeah, that's my most fun.
Well, there you go. Come watch our street stocks this weekend. So. All right, I think we'll wrap it up. I think that was long enough, but glad to have you and thankful for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kenny.
Thanks.
See you all this Saturday.